Welcome to the glow, where warmth begins. Nick and Becca, where good vibes win. Pull up a chair and let's get started to business tips with a cool, relaxed view. Fireside chats with Nick and Becca. Business tips where it's at.
Welcome to Nick and Becca's Fireside Chats, brought to you by Tricress. Tricress is the home of the Kick-Ass Culture Coach and Consultant program. Everything every business coach and consultant needs to make them successful. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the sister and brother team who founded Tricress and find out what really makes them tick, what irritates them, and what makes them laugh. So we're coming back to Nick and Becca's Fireside Chats, and we couldn't remember whether we'd done pets.
And I said I didn't think we had done pets.
Yeah, so we're going to do pets.
Is it recording?
Yes, it is. You see that flashing light there?
As long as that's flashing, we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Does anybody watch this?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Is this our fourth or fifth or sixth one? It's one of those, isn't it?
It's our ninth.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Jeez.
We've done loads.
Who watches them?
I think there's somebody in Solihull that has got some kind of weird
Although
obsession.
people in Solihull call it Solihull.
Solihull, yeah. Anyway.
It's a place in Birmingham for those people.
Well,
who
it's
aren't
south
familiar.
of Birmingham. It's posh. In fact, they don't really like to say it's anywhere near Birmingham.
I think it's south east Birmingham.
Right. Do you have any pets?
You know that I do.
Well, for the audience.
Well, I'm hesitating there because the pet is actually my wife's, really.
Mm-hmm.
And if my wife and I ever split up, that's not likely. But if we did, there's no question that she would get custody of the dog.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't be a discussion because that would be one of the actual upsides of splitting up, is that I would lose the dog.
You wouldn't have the dog.
I wouldn't have the dog.
Yeah.
I'd see that as a big win.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have pets?
I have Monty and Eddie, my dogs, who I adore. And Eddie's 9, Monty's 2. And they're both crossed with Tibetan terriers. Eddie's crossed with a Havanese, which, as the vet said the other day, makes him very independent. I like to call him a wee shite, to be honest, because he's very disobedient. Whereas Monty's Tibetan crossed with a working cocker, so he's much more biddable, and he's a nicer dog.
Together they're very loud and yappy and annoying.
Yeah, they are. Quiet now, though.
Really?
When we were younger, do you remember the first pet we ever had?
Well, the first pet I ever had was a gerbil.
When was that?
Exactly. Because you forget that you're 3.5 years younger than me. So I got a gerbil on my 6th birthday.
Did you?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh.
Now let me tell you what happened to that gerbil.
Oh God, do I want to know?
Because shortly after that 6th birthday, if you remember, mother and father split up. So we moved from Banbury in Oxfordshire and we moved to Manchester, North Manchester.
Right.
And you were obviously born there because you were born in Banbury in 1970. And I think we moved to North Manchester in 1973.
Right.
So the gerbil came with us, and Grandma, as in Mum's mum and Grandpa, we went away. And they said, we'll look after the gerbil.
Right. Did we go to Sweden?
We might have done.
Okay.
But Grandma was scared of the gerbil and didn't really like rodents. So she they lived in a flat.
Above the post office?
No, this was a flat they had in St Anne's Road. Do you not remember that flat?
No, I don't remember.
Had a flat off St Anne's Road in Prestwich. So the upshot is that Grandma put the gerbil, it was in its cage, and Mum told her to feed it and water it. And literally, from what I can tell, from what Mum told us, Grandma once a day literally opened the door, threw food in the general direction of the cage, and then quickly shut the door because she hated it. Suffice to say, when we returned from our week away, the gerbil was dead.
Oh, what did you call it?
I don't remember.
Right. And just for the listener out there is a picture of our grandma and grandpa to Nick's right.
Yes,
there.
and you would not know that she was a rodent killer.
No, you wouldn't.
But the first pet we had was a dog called Scruffy.
We had a pet before that. Did we not? Hang on. Did we not have Tiny the cat?
I don't remember. Oh.
Do you remember Tiny the cat? Because
I don't remember it called being Tiny, but we may have had a cat.
We had a cat, which was really weird because Mum was scared of cats.
She was.
She was absolutely terrified.
And she overcame that eventually, didn't she?
When she went out with John, because he had 2 cats.
Yeah, that's right.
But when we had a cat, she was terrified of it. So to this day, I have no idea why she got a cat. I think we had a mouse infestation.
We had a lot of infestations in that house.
Yeah, we did. It wasn't pretty. So we had Tiny the cat, but Tiny the cat didn't last long because I remember I've got this memory of it doing its business in a cat litter tray and Mum literally standing in a corner shaking and going, I can't cope. And shortly after that, we didn't appear to have Tiny the cat anymore. Do you not remember that?
I really don't. How funny is that?
But do you remember Scruffy the dog?
I do remember Scruffy dog, who was a mongrel, wasn't it? It was a mixed breed of God knows what.
She was lovely, but she chewed all the furniture.
Yeah, she chewed everything.
Yeah, she really did.
Did we get rid of that dog as well?
Yeah, so what happened throughout our growing up is that we had some dogs that Mum... Well, we had Scruffy the dog.
We had one dog
that Mum got and then got rid of.
Yeah, because she couldn't cope.
Because she couldn't cope with that either.
She couldn't cope with a lot of things.
No,
really.
she couldn't. But she always, bless her, she always kind of tried.
She did try because she thought it was good for us to have pets.
Yeah, she did, which was quite sweet. But then we successfully got Lady the dog.
Scottish Terrier.
Scottish
It's
Terrier.
like a West Highland Terrier, but black.
Yeah.
Scotty dog. Yeah, beautiful.
She was lovely, wasn't she?
That was a wonderful dog, which we had right through until she died.
Yeah. So we didn't get rid of her. I remember she died she had to be put down when I was 18. I was devastated.
Yeah, even I was upset, and I'd moved out by then. But yeah, because she was the family pet.
Yeah, I'd moved out as well.
Yeah, she was a lovely animal.
Yeah, she was very sweet.
I'd have a Scottish Terrier again. They suffer with the hips.
Well, that was wrong with her. Remember, her legs used to go wonky.
They suffer with the hips.
She had a skin condition, wonky legs, and I think she might have been deaf towards the end as well.
Wow.
Yeah, she just, bless her. Mum called her a demic in the end.
She did, yes.
She did.
But she was a lovely dog. What I would give now to have a small dog. We've been going for over 7 minutes and I've not mentioned our pet. The pet we have in our house, my wife and I, is a German Shepherd dog. Once used to be called Alsatians. Well, they were called German Shepherd dogs and then they were called Alsatians because after the war, nobody really wanted to call anything German.
No.
For obvious reasons, but that's a long, long time ago, thankfully. So they're now called German Shepherd dogs again. And it's called Leia, after Princess Leia. And she's a very beautiful dog.
She's lovely.
A genuinely beautiful dog and a beautiful nature.
Yeah, she's really
But
nice.
if you don't know about GSDs, German Shepherd dogs, GSDs, they're bred to be very watchful, so they follow you around. They're like a Velcro dog. They follow you around because they're constantly guarding you, constantly. So she's quite needy sometimes. She drives me mad, particularly at the end of the day if I'm tired. She drives me mad. And then when we let her out the garden, she barks because German Shepherds were bred not to look after the sheep in the field. That was a different dog that looked after the sheep in the field. German Shepherd dogs patrolled the perimeter of the field, would bark furiously if anything was about to encroach. And I'm going to use the word curtilage. It's a legal phrase, meaning border of an area of property, the curtilage. They would bark, and that's what our dog does. Our dog knows that this is her garden, and if a pigeon comes into it or lands on the roof, she's just bred to bark at it, to go away, this belongs to me and it belongs to our pack.
Yeah.
So I don't think, interestingly enough, I never knew whether I was a dog or a cat person, but having Leia has made me realise that I'm a cat person, because before we had Leia, my wife and I had 2 cats.
You did.
And I would go back to cats.
Would you?
Yeah, genuinely, I now know I'm a cat person.
Right, okay.
I like the fact that cats, you will get this totally, I see myself, if I had to identify to be one or the other, I'd be a cat.
Are we going back to spirit animals again?
No, we're not doing spirit animals. You know, I tried to read the thingy Pullman.
Oh, Philip Pullman.
Trilogy things. I remember got third way through that. Amber Spyglass, and everyone had a spirit animal.
Yeah,
and after about the 40th page, I went, no, they don't. Right, and I just couldn't get into it. I couldn't get into it at all. Yeah, because cats are affectionate when they want to be, and they're sitting you, they're lovely. And other times they're like, yeah, whatever, I want to be a left alone, bugger off, I don't need you. That's me, isn't it? That is me. Sometimes I want love and attention, and other times I'm going to sod off, and actually I don't really care about you, so bye.
Yeah, that's because you're a Gemini.
But I always come back.
Yeah, you're
like
Gemini on a Gemini.
Yeah, I know. I'm a Gemini on a Gemini on a Gemini, in fact.
Yeah.
If you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah, so we never know what we're going to get.
No, my wife doesn't know which Nick she's going to wake up with in the morning. She's like, now, which is this Nick?
Do you remember the hamsters that we had?
The first hamster I had was a white hamster, and it was called Trotsky.
It was, because you're doing O-level history at the time.
I was learning the Russian Revolution, and, you know, at that age, you think it's cool, so I called it Trotsky.
You were right on lefty at that point.
Yeah, but at least Trotsky was a Menshevik rather than a Bolshevik.
Well, yeah.
So he was a softer communist. But most people go through that phase, don't they, where they go, oh, communism sounds like a good idea. And then you see it played out in reality, and it just leads to the mass extermination of millions of people.
Can you remember what happened to Trotsky? The hamster, not the revolutionary. I remember vividly what happened to Trotsky.
Didn't we think he was dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought he was lying behind his wheel and he was motionless.
Yeah.
And like got him in hand, nothing, dead. So we had a little ceremony for him in the backyard. There was a bit of soil in our backyard, and we buried him. And literally a day later, because our mum was a teacher, she'd spoken to the biology teacher at her school and told him about Trotsky. And the biology teacher said, oh, he probably wasn't dead. Sometimes hamsters do that, and all you need to do is warm them up. So we think we may have buried him alive.
It was pre-internet days, so you couldn't...
Yeah, you couldn't look up.
No, you couldn't Google
You just went...
He's not moving.
It's not moving.
I think he's dead.
It's not moving.
He was quite stiff.
Yeah, he was stiff.
Yeah,
he was stiff.
Like, so...
Yes.
And I know since then, I think it was years later, Mum didn't tell us straight away.
No, she told me.
Oh, did she?
Because I was old enough to be able to think
she
it was.
Told me.
But because she said that don't tell Beck, because she'd be really upset that we might have buried a live animal, which is terrible, isn't it? To be fair, it wasn't the 70s. About if I was doing Russian Revolution in 81, 82, 1981, 82.
Yeah. If you haven't worked out by now, Nick and Becca, Rebecca and Nick, to use their posh Sunday names, are really passionate about building businesses, giving business coaches and consultants out there everything they need to succeed. Yeah, we have a laugh about it. It's not brain surgery. Join us, find out more at tricrest.com, TRICRES. Back to the podcast.
Different times, different attitudes.
You say that though. Do you remember when I had 2 cats?
You don't want to tell that story because people are... You know how now you can go to prison for a tweet that you sent 12 years ago?
Yeah.
Right, you made one comment somewhere, or somebody recently was suspended from playing football for so many months because literally 14 years ago she what's now considered dressed inappropriately at a fancy dress party. So I'm not sure you want to say this because there'll be somebody out there who goes, arrest her now.
Well, I don't mind sharing.
Fair enough.
So I had 2 cats, Anthony and Cleopatra, because I did English literature at university, so I was obsessed with Shakespeare, as you are.
See, I thought you'd name them after the Carry On film. Carry On Cleo.
No. And Cleopatra was lovely, but she was very nosy and curious. And one day I had put washing my duvet on a hot wash. And when I got the duvet out, I pulled the duvet out with a dead cat. It had gone through a full cycle on a hot wash. I had not realised she was in there. And
So you'd put the duvet in, and you reckon she'd obviously climbed in afterwards, thinking, oh, that's cosy.
I didn't. There was obviously a time delay between when I put the duvet in and when I put the washing machine on.
I mean, still, when you tell me that, it's just awful, isn't it?
It was awful. I had no idea cats even did that. But clearly they do, or she did.
Yeah, so be careful. Seriously, if you've got a cat and you put the washer on, you think, actually,
check.
I've put that washing in, I'll leave the door open. I needed to put that in as well.
Yeah.
And you throw it in, unbeknownst, there's a
Just
bloody
check.
cat, because that's awful.
The thing is like, what do you do with the dead cat body once that has... there was cat hairs all over my duvet. I had to wash it like a zillion times.
Yeah, you would do.
But the other one is, how do you dispose of a dead cat body?
Well,
what does one do?
You bury it in a garden, don't you?
I didn't have one. I had a yard. It was in York, my first house. I had no garden. So I had to put her in a little bin bag and pop her in the bin.
Yeah, that's probably what you have to do.
It's not nice. No, it was not nice.
That's probably what you have to do.
Yeah. So that, and then I had another cat. By the way, the last cat story I'm about to tell you, you'll all be pleased to know, is the last cat I ever owned. I find it easier to keep track of dogs. Cats I find hard to keep track of. When we lived in Falladam, I had a cat and it ran away. Do you remember the big ginger one?
Yeah, it probably ran away because it
was scared I might put it in the washing machine.
Yeah, you would do.
Yeah, well, first of all, we were having the house done up and he hid in the cavities of the walls and we couldn't get him out. That was quite tricky. I think the thing is, I used to get rescue cats and they were always a bit schizo. He hid in the walls, so it took us ages to get him out. Got him out, kept him indoors for ages, thought he was fine, let him out, ran away. Just ran away, and we lived in the countryside. And about a year later, I saw him out in the fields.
Really?
So yeah, I think he was living wild. I think he was living his best life.
Clearly.
Yeah. And I had one more after that.
A cat?
Yes. When we lived in Grange Lone. Only because Lottie and Charlie, my 2 older children...
I'm just going to check a football score.
You can't do that mid-podcast, Nick.
Yeah, of course you can. Any bloke that's watching this, I realise that's a generalisation. There are plenty of women that are into football or soccer.
Yes.
But speaking general terms.
You wouldn't see.
Newcastle United did draw against Manchester City, so Manchester City dropped 2 points. Result.
You wouldn't see Joe Rogan doing that, Nick.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what. Once we get 50 million subscribers, viewers, and I'm a multi-millionaire, we're multi-millionaires based on it, then this will have my undivided attention, clearly. But whilst there's only 3 or 4 people watching, I will check the early kick-off.
Fair enough. Where was I? Scruffy and Midnight. The kids got that with their dad. The dad didn't want the cats anymore. I had to inherit the cats.
Right.
And they lived outside as well. They didn't like living indoors, so they were outdoor.
You're
cats.
Definitely not a cat
I'm
person,
not a cat
and
person.
they know you're not.
Yeah,
they don't want to come near you, do they?
No.
So when I hooked up with the person who is now my wife, the second wife actually, I'm only having the 2. Our dad had 3. He's on his 3rd one. Yeah. To be fair, he's been with her for 30, 40 years or something.
30, 40 years, too long.
But I inherited 2 cats because Sally had cats.
They were nice cats.
Yeah, Buzz. and Woody. And Woody was a big tomcat, and Buzz was she had been the runt of the litter. She was a tiny little thing, and she didn't meow, she squeaked, genuinely, she just went, genuinely, she didn't meow. And she was very, very timid of me for months and months and months, but a friendship grew between us.
You bonded,
Yeah,
didn't
we
you?
did bond. We did bond, but Woody had to be put down. He's very, very old. His liver failed, and eventually, and it's often the way, so did Buzz. And I miss them. Buzz particularly, I miss to this day. I used to buy her little packets of Dreamies. If you're a cat lover, you'll know about Dreamies, and I'd put her some Dreamies out. And I would have a cat. Yeah, I would have, without a doubt.
You do realise Alison, who edits this, is obsessed with Luther, her cat.
Yeah, I know, in an unhealthy way.
Sorry, Alison.
Really.
He appears on all our Zoom calls.
She does. Luther, he
appears on all our Zoom calls. He chats his way.
Did she name him after...
the devil?
Yeah, the character that
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba played in the BBC one thing that was really scary, Luther.
I don't think so.
Or is he a Lutheran?
No,
which is a branch of Christianity.
I think he's just a Luther as in the devil. Oh no, that's Lucifer.
Oh, that is Lucifer.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know where Luther comes from.
I don't know. I'm going to ask her. Anyway, she moved him to Spain, and he's.
She did. He's now a gatto.
Negro, because he's black.
Negro
Un
gatto.
gato negro. How's your Duolingo going?
Well, today was my 74th day.
I think I did your high five.
So, yeah, I don't do any of those things.
I noticed that. It's very...
I'm just not into that. I'm not... It's an interesting thing, isn't it? It's... Somebody asked me recently... Well, shall I say this? I don't know. Yeah, somebody in Sally's family, my brother-in-law, asked me to join a... They invited me because him and his grown-up children and their respective partners are on a fantasy football league thing.
Yeah.
So you have an app and you choose a team and you do all that. I managed to do it for 2 weeks.
Right.
And they have got a WhatsApp group and everything. And then I realised that I just wasn't competitive with other people.
No.
I'm just not. I don't care how many points I've got or how many you've got or whether it's not. So the Duolingo thing. It comes up and it goes, oh, so-and-so's hit 1,000 so-and-so. Do you want to congratulate? And I'm like, no, I don't know who no.
But it's nice to do that.
Yeah, I'm not interested. I'm just doing, I'm not interested in what I don't, it's I don't know what it is, and it's making me cringe already.
Right.
It's like a virtual high five. It's like, oh, great for hitting, 100 Duolingo sessions in a streak. I don't know who you are. You're just
but
in
you
this...
know who I am.
Yeah, you. And it comes up every day. It's like, oh, you've 25 days streak with a friend. And I think, well, it's not my friend. It's my sister. It's my sister. So, and then I hit certain things that goes, oh, do you want to share that you've just become legendary? No, I don't want to share that I've become legendary. Who's interested in that? So I started in Barcelona. I was doing a gig in Barcelona in July, and I thought, well, do you know what? I go to Spain at least once a year on holiday, so I'll do it. So yeah, I do a little bit every day. Some days I do more than others.
Yeah.
And yeah, but you've been doing your Italian for ages, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I've been learning Italian since I was about 19 because I had to study Dante in the original, which was quite tricky. I failed that paper because I didn't manage to learn Italian.
How long have you been doing?
It says 22 minutes, 39.
I can't see it because of the reflection.
And I've learned Italian off and on for years and years and years because I'm obsessed with Italy and all things Italiano. So I'm now at the Italian Institute doing an evening class once a week. I'm still on Duolingo. I've nearly done 2 years on Duolingo.
Wow, that's impressive.
I just paid for 1 month of their posh Duolingo, I'm not paying for the full year until I've decided whether I like it, because they've introduced, you can have a conversation with Lily AI now.
Yes, I know. I paid full. When I decided to do it, I did the whole year subscription. I'm going to do it properly.
I'm testing that out to see whether I like it. So
yes, I have conversations with Lily.
Yeah.
They're pretty one-sided.
Yeah.
It's amazing that she's Italian as well as Spanish.
She is. She's multilingual.
We're off pets now.
I know we've gone, but there is an owl. I want to rescue the baby owl.
There is an owl. There is an owl.
Yeah, I did rescue a baby owl, and then was told I shouldn't have rescued it. I should have left it by the side of the road, because apparently its parent would have been waiting for it.
Oh, really?
And then since I rescued it, obviously its parent.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Where's my bloody little baby owl?
I didn't know, because it was on the road. Do you remember that back road from where you used to live to where I used to live?
Yes.
It was on before you got to the ford, it was there, and I nearly ran it over.
Wow!
And I thought, okay, it's a really quiet road.
Yes.
But I picked it up and put it in the boot of my car.
I remember you doing this.
Yeah, and then I phoned the RSPB.
Did you take it home to wash it?
Wash the owl? Does one wash an owl?
No, I just imagine it would go straight into a washing machine.
It wasn't a duvet wash day. Luckily for the owl.
You should always wash your owls separately. They're lovely tumble dry.
Do they go on a cold or a warm wash, an owl? Anyway, when I phoned the RSPB, they went, "Oh, you shouldn't have picked it up."
Oh my God.
And then they came and collected it and went, "Oh, we're going to have to hand rear the owl now." And it's
meanwhile,
all
Mr. and Mrs.
fault.
Owl childless.
Yeah, I felt quite bad about
That's
that, actually.
Awful, yeah.
I know, because they said the parents would have come down to the road to feed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if you ever find an owl, just leave it, because the parents will come and feed it.
Yeah, not if it's in the middle of like a motorway.
Well, you can't stop there anyway, because then you would die.
Good point. Yeah.
But coming down from the Highlands the other week, an owl nearly flew into my windscreen. A barn owl was like... That was quite scary.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're big, aren't they?
Yeah. And I saw dolphins up in the Highlands, obviously in the sea, not on the road.
I don't.
What's wrong with dolphins?
I don't get.
What's wrong with dolphins?
They're sharks with good PR.
Dolphins are playful creatures.
I tell you what it is. It's that they just.
You're so miserable.
No, it's not. I tell you what it is. It's not really dolphins. Dolphins, yeah, smashing.
They're great.
Yeah. It's people's attitude to dolphins.
Right.
The people who want to swim with dolphins.
Have you ever swam with a dolphin?
I'm not interested in swimming with a fish. Why a dolphin? Why not? Oh, I want to swim with a herring.
Because dolphins are mammals.
It's a fish.
No, they're mammals now. They give birth to live young.
When I did stand up, right, I used to do this as a set, and people go, "Oh, they're fish." I go, "Okay, so it's a mammal, right?
Yeah,
okay,
it is a mammal.
okay, right, okay, right. Take a dolphin out of water, see how long it lasts." See how long it lasts.
Right.
They don't. They beach themselves, and then people go and push them in the water.
Yeah.
I actually heard, seriously, years ago, a woman who was an expert in dolphins.
Yeah.
And I mean, she was American.
Yeah.
Right. And she said, dolphins, she said, they're so intelligent. She said, they know so many words. It's absolutely incredible, their vocabulary. And I'm thinking, well, why aren't they in schools then teaching? And they can't brush their own teeth, because if you go to a dolphin display, one of the things that the dolphin people do
to go to those
is they brush their teeth.
You can't go to a dolphin display.
They just go.
You're not allowed. You get cancelled.
They also, did you know about dolphins? This is why they're sharks with PR, that they actually gang up on baby seals and bully them.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so they're not all they're made out to be. I tell you what, they're the aquatic version of a panda. And don't get me on pandas. Pandas are a complete waste of space.
Right, dolphins are not in the same league as pandas.
No, but people have this... this anthropomorphic attitude to pandas. Do you remember when Edinburgh Zoo got pandas? People would queue and pay through the nose to see a panda.
Yes. They're quite cute and fluffy.
They're stupid.
They are
that
stupid.
man who I can't abide.
Don't mention that, because that will get us cancelled. The one viewer will go.
Right. Even he said that pandas had reached an evolutionary cul-de-sac.
Yeah. Yeah.
In other words, they don't have sex with one another and they only eat one thing.
Yeah.
If that, they are two huge signs that are saying it's probably time to be extinct.
Yeah. Whereas dolphins are clever and they play. They actually play. So when you're out on a boat, they play with the boat.
They also, did you know the American military have trained dolphins to lay mines on ships?
That's clever, isn't it?
It is. So what I'm saying to you about dolphins is if the money's right, the money's right, a dolphin will go. So they do the whole cute thing, but if the money's right, yeah, you want us to put a mine on that ship? Yeah, I'll do that, mate. Yeah, I'll do that. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to finish on pets. Do you remember the goldfish we had?
I had numerous goldfish.
Do you remember the ones that we won at the fair?
Yeah, that lived.
For years.
Yeah, we
years.
did. St Mary's Park, Prestwich.
Yeah, we
true.
brought it home in a plastic bag.
Yeah.
Again, you're not allowed to do that anymore.
Don't they do that anymore?
No, you're not allowed to do
Well,
that.
how do you get a fish home from the fair?
You don't. They don't give them away anymore.
Why not?
Because I don't know. Somebody decided.
Yeah,
it
but
was
surely
cool.
there would be more fish.
I don't know.
Than there would be now. Plus, little children would learn how to care for an animal.
Do you remember? So they lived for a long time, and then one died of natural causes, and we had one left.
Yeah.
And do you remember how that one died?
No.
So,
dropped a shoe in the fish tank.
one of Mum's stilettos was on top of the fridge freezer.
That's right. On a
fell
washing
off,
basket and an ironing basket.
Went into the fish tank, killed the fish,
It
stone
must
dead.
be the only fish that's ever been killed by a stiletto.
Freak accident.
Freak accident.
Yeah. And on that note, we're
On
going to
that fishy
end
note.
on pets. Good day.
We hope you enjoyed Nick and Becca's Fireside Chats just as much as we enjoyed recording it. Remember to like, subscribe, ring the bell, whatever it is you need to do. And head over now to tricrest.com, TRICRES.com. There's a ton of resources there for business coaches and consultants. Some are free, some you have to pay for. We really look forward to welcoming you to the TriCrest family.